Oh,
Okay, well, we're here PACA 2 tonight, and we have a combined events extravaganza here because we've got our Olympic silver medalist, Leo Neugebauer from University of Texas. We claim that first, and then Germany afterwards. And his coach, Jim Garman, who again is the vertical jump and combined events coach at UT. So thank you guys so much for coming. And again, coming off of Paris, I guess, Leo, what were some of your thoughts going into Paris?
there was a lot going through my head just because, the year before I was at World Champs, also basically in the same position as now going into the Olympics. So, 2023 going into the World Champs, I was also ranked first. A lot of pressure the first time on this world stage as the favorite. And then there, it didn't went as well. I got fifth. So I tried to learn from that as much as I could. And then going into the Olympics, I feel like I had a lot of, preparation for that moment from the year before. And yeah, that's why I really wanted to get out with a medal, and I did. Yeah.
That's right. Coach, now you've been around to several different universities and have been at UT now, what is it, 3 or 4 years?
No, this is starting five.
5 years. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
time flies, huh?
It does. It
Now,
does.
Leo got there in 2019, I believe.
Yep.
Beginning of
Uh,
2020. Yeah.
Okay. And so, Coach, when you saw Leo coming in, did you recruit him
I
or
didn't. I did recruit him, but not at the school I was not at
not to
Texas.
Texas?
So yeah,
Uh,
I saw him 2020 when the world shut down at the um in New Mexico during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
So me and my decathlete that I was with was we just were in awe of how big he was, and we're just like, who is this kid? And then a year later, I'm coaching him, so it was pretty cool. So,
What would you say your coaching philosophy for decathlon or heptathlon is?
I mean, honestly, I think so we have like a three-headed animal here at Texas. So it's myself covers all the field events and hang out with Leo. I'll do all the fun stuff with Leo. You got Flo who does the running stuff, and then Clint Martin is our strength and conditioning coach.
Mm.
He's with the Houston Texans now. But he still is training Leo. So I mean, the philosophy is like I know a lot of multi-event, combined event coaches here in the States want to control the whole thing and want to be in like the whole part of it. Mine is if you know more than me, like Flo does. I mean, Flo knows. I mean, obviously Flo knows. So Flo knows more about running and more about sprint mechanics and more about hurdling than I do. I mean, it's you just open-minded coaching, and to coach a guy like Mr. Leo over there, it was, it's just once in a career probably.
Yeah,
So live it up, and he's a pretty talented human being. So,
I think so.
Aw.
oh yeah, I'm just saying that for here. He drives
Don't
me.
worry. Don't worry. We have it recorded, Leo, so we can't go back on it now.
I love that.
Leo, why the decathlon?
I mean, in Germany as a kid, if you do track, you start off doing everything, and just to, because we did it just to have fun. That's just like something we did, and everybody did it. And so, yeah, basically in Germany, everybody starts off as a decathlete. And then for me, I never got good in one specific event. I was always kind of good overall. And then I just stuck with it. More and more events came, to the event. And then I ended up being a decathlete.
Yeah, because Germany's had a rich tradition,
Yeah.
in combined events for those of us that have been around a while.
Yeah.
And it's been very interesting because they kind of had a peak and then a
Hmm.
plateau for a while, and then now you've regenerated it. So that's going to be fun. Coach, how do you plan for the 10 events? Now you say there's three of you uh,
Yep.
kind of coordinating that. So how do you plan Leo's
So
schedule?
I coordinate everything with him with Coach Flo, um, just kind of what we're doing for the week, what the plan is, and Flo throws in his stuff. So normally, typically on a typical week, Leo is with Flo running on Monday and Friday, and he hurdles either Tuesday and Thursday, and the rest of the time he's with me, just doing the technical events and everything else. So yeah, I mean it's just with him it's easy because he doesn't need a ton of work. He's pretty polished. In the beginning, he wasn't. He didn't want to learn. He didn't want to do anything. And oh, look at that face. Yeah. So, so he's pretty polished. So we don't need to spend hours, doing stuff. So, like a shot put session could last 35, 40 minutes and we're done. From the time we warm up to the time we take our last throw and then he moves on. And we typically don't spend a ton of time. I mean, I think the majority of the time we spent this year, we've got the pole vault better and the discus better. I think those were the two main concentrations this year going into it. And so now this year, the hurdles, I think that's a big concentration. His speed is great. Um, so yeah, kind of in that regard, we just train it that way, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
Mhm.
it's
Leo, would you concur that, would you agree, Leo, that you kind of work that way as a sequence?
Yeah, I feel like for me, it's very it's always very spontaneous what we're doing, and I feel like we're always on the same page.
yeah,
Like if I say, I think I feel this way, and he's like, you know what, I saw that too. I think the same way, and
yeah,
that's why I think that's like a very important thing, just to be on the same page, to have the same train of thought, to know exactly, okay, we know I don't need in a certain event, a bunch of training, or it's better to shut it down early, or it's better to here do 2 sessions or so, and we are always on the same page. And I think communication is like one of the most important
yeah,
things.
How
yeah.
do you guys work that, Jim? Then, where, like you say, you kind of knew Leo, but didn't all of a sudden you're working with him day to day.
Yeah.
How did you guys develop a good coach athlete relationship?
So I would say that that first year was a
Mhm.
trial run at everything, and we learned a lot. Obviously, he didn't score as well. He was what, third at NC's or fourth
Fourth,
outdoors?
fourth. Yeah.
Fourth. But at the end of the day, it was we trained a little too hard. We not hard, but we did too much of stuff. Whereas he didn't need the level of stuff. And then the next year we kind of figured it out. We backed off of certain events like the his high jump. We don't high jump at all, which is wild. And
Oh,
we do probably 4 or 5 sessions of approach work. We did 2 jumps off of a box last year. And I think I credit that to a 6'10" jump indoors. So yeah. But no, I mean we just learned. So there's certain things that spark up his lower legs and then just flare him up. So we just kind of learned from that and the trust part of it, Leah wants to be good, so he's not gonna lie to me and say, "Hey coach, I don't want to do this workout" and stuff like that. No, it's there's a massive trust amount in it, and for 4 years, I mean it's worked pretty well. Three were great. I mean, this year is probably going to be even better.
mhm.
So we just continue to work that way.
Leo, how would you describe the coach athlete relationship?
Yeah, I would say just especially between all three of us, or all three of my coaches, it's very important to know how every coach works
Mhm.
and how to communicate with every coach. And it's very different for everybody. But, you just have to know each other and know what is best, what has not been working in the past, and what works. And just like, capitalize on that, and then, keep just talking, being honest, and how everything feels and stuff. And then, yeah, I think that's the key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think working with Jim and working with Flo would be two totally different
Yep.
outlooks there.
Yeah,
uh,
for sure. Which is good though. It's the
No,
yin and yang, it's a
yeah.
different type of thing and not everybody can do it. I don't, there's people that wouldn't be able to do how we do it. I mean, it's
Well,
it's pretty amazing.
yeah, and the decathlon is that yin and yang too, so it
Yeah.
kind of fits with that. Coach Williams, you've got a hand raised here. What would you like to ask him?
Yes, I'm following up on that. Is talking about how did you decide how many events you were going to do each day? And then how did you decide if you did that, which events you put together?
That's for me, obviously, I think, and
Yes,
not
sorry.
Leo. Yeah, so like normally a normal typical training day would be a throw, a jump, and some sort of run. That's a typical day. So that's what we came in doing with Leo, and then we found out really quick he couldn't handle that capacity of doing it. So then we went to 2 events a day, and then so like we pair up the hurdles with the pole vault. or if the hurdles are really, really heavy that day, then we switch the pole vault to the Thursday. So we just kind of, again, we just with him, it's not having a massive group of people to coach is a wonderful thing because you can ebb and flow, go back and forth, and just kind of hit the things that you need to hit. So I don't know if that answered or not, but I hope it did.
I have one more question. Is there an event that you would typically want to do on its own?
Um, no, I don't. I mean, the vault is one of the ones that's a time-consuming event, and so it takes a lot out of you. But we usually we do try to pair it with either a discus throw or a hurdles, kind of in that sequence of that event in the decathlon and how it rolls.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good. Jim Engel, you've got a question?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Coach, how would got athletes, that are jumpers and hurdlers and sprinters. How would you set up a high school practice? You
Oh
pretty much
man, I haven't done that in forever. Holy cow. That's like 20, 25 years ago. So commonalities, obviously, I would try to do something if we were doing some kind of like a field event work, like on a long jump runway, just try to pair it up with some sprinting. If you're high jumping, it's one of those, it's a technical event, so you just have to do some takeoff stuff and different parts of it like that. I think just having commonalities and training commonalities helps. But I mean, I think back to my high school coach who I talk to about uh, probably I should talk to him more than I do. Probably twice a month we talk, but just the stuff, just running. I mean, he just ran us and prepared us to do stuff. And so I've always been a fan of that. When I was coaching high school, we always ran. Everybody can run. But just setting up the events because there's so many people in the high school part is just basically trying to figure out what people can do and then go and have those little sessions in between. So we would always run first and then do the technical and then go to the weight room. That was always the typical high school how we did it. So I hope that
thanks,
helped.
coach.
Yeah, sorry if I didn't help.
That's fine. That works.
Marlene, you've got some questions.
Hi. Um, I'm coming from a high school perspective. And so what do you think from a high school development stage, do you think are like the primary focus of developing a multi-eventer, a decathlete?
So
Like, what are you looking for in college or moving forward? What do you want to work with?
yeah, so in the States, we don't really have a developed combined events program like they do in Europe and in different places like where Leo's from, where he went as, 10-year-old, 12-year-old kid to do the decathlon. What I would do, how I look at it, I look at somebody who can hurdle, who can pole vault, and who can high jump, because those are like the three technical events in the deal. Like I have a guy, Sam Hurley. Sam could do all three of those, very proficient, but he can't handle the workload to do the decathlon. So, but those are the three commonalities, I think. Those three jumping of the hurdles, the high jump, and the pole vault are the three that I think can basically say, yeah, this kid could be a pretty solid decathlete or some kind of multi.
Okay.
And just a sidelight, Marlene was a heptathlete. Were you on the 80 Olympic team or?
Yeah, 83 World Championships, Pan
Yeah.
Americans, and
So she's been around the multis quite a bit
Yeah,
here.
that's awesome.
Leo, when did the Olympics become a reality in your mindset? As I don't think you decided to be an Olympian just a few years ago, did you?
So I mean, obviously the goal was always to compete in it from forever ago. But I mean, the first time was in 2023 at the Texas Relays when I basically hit the standard and basically already qualified back then for the Olympics because the window for the multis opened up like almost 2 years before. So January of 23 or even December of 22 already. And yeah, so I was actually the first to qualify for the Olympics in all of track and field because the multis window opened first and I was the first multi to hit it. So yeah, from then on, I already knew that I was competing. And yeah, from then on, it also sparked the motivation in me and just made me better and better.
Now, coach has mentioned a few times just kind of the workload and what your body can handle and not handle and so forth. What would you consider, Leo, the biggest challenge you have in training for the multis?
That's a really good question. For me personally, it's always, honestly, for me, the most challenging part is probably nutrition. So I love to eat way too much. So I have to like slow down sometimes. Yeah. And then just, find the right time to eat the right things before a competition. There's always like weeks and months before where I have to like start eating a certain way in order to get to the right weight, to the right shape. And I think that's like my main focus. But the workload in general, I've been doing track since I was six. Yeah, six. So now 18 years, and I'm just so used to the workload that it's not really a big deal for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, nutrition, do you have people to help you with that or
Yes. The most important thing is to just, be focused on not snacking too much. It's hard, but yeah, that's what I
especially
gotta
the six
focus on.
seven 240
Yeah.
decathlon, right?
Exactly,
Yeah. We don't need them 245 or 250.
There we
Oh my
go.
God.
Exactly. David Burnett, you've got some questions.
Yes, Coach Garnham, Leo, thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate you guys. Leo, with your transition when you came over to the States, can you kind of walk through how that was for you?
The transition, you mean just like to get used to the culture or what exactly?
Yeah, everything. You know, you had different coaches back home, and now you have a totally different way of training and things like that. And now you're in Austin, Texas. There's so many distractions, but there's also so many opportunities. Just kind of what that was like for you.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it was pretty easy because I'm a very open guy. I love to do new things. And I had a lot of good friends that also helped me, feel good and comfortable here. And from the get-go, I really loved it here. Like I love working out, and here they have even more facilities and just things to offer than anywhere in Europe, or in Germany. So yeah, it was definitely a step up, and I really, just went to work, and yeah, that's like so I got into it pretty easy, but then the big thing was to, trying to figure out what kind of training I need was the thing that we figured out together. And then over the years, got better and better.
Okay. And do you train with only multis or do you train with like if you're doing hurdles, for instance, on a given day, do you train with the other hurdlers?
I actually almost always train with the specific event people because it's kind of cool. I think that's also one of the cool things about being in college because there's always in every event as a decathlete, there's always in every event somebody that is better than you in an event. So like, I'm training with the hurdlers, with the long sprinters and all these things. Like the throws, for example, I'm doing by myself, but I don't really need anybody there. But as of like, on the track or on long jump or something, there's always somebody that is right next to me or even better than me. And yeah, I think that's very important. Like for me now, being where I am, and so good in track, there's always somebody kicking my ass every day, and I think that's really really good for an athlete, or for a decathlete.
Last question, Coach, you are Leo. In terms of communication, like when you're at the Olympics and you're trying to get feedback, do y'all go into it maybe with, certain cues that you know to give to each other since, it's loud, you're not close to each other. How do you
You want to do it, Leo?
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, I feel like we know each other really well as well. So literally, like he just has to show something, and I know exactly what he
Yeah.
means. So I think that's just us knowing each other. We never really made like a secret. Okay, if I make this sign, it means this and this. We just kind of know, And also, to be honest, we're all like athletes here. Like it's always the same thing, It's never anything new that I'm doing wrong. So I kind of know already what it is from the way he mimics it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, like again, like Leo said, I know going into like the Olympics, World Championships, we would have things that we're working on in practice, and there'd be a cue, and so he'd make me. I have a list on my phone of all the cues that we work on, like
Oh yeah.
just to remind him if hey, if things are going south, if things are going, sorry, my son is trying to come in the room. If things are going south, then we can always go back to those things. So it's just
Mhm.
But again,
Like
I can just do some stuff, and he knows exactly what it means, and it's
and
kind
at
of
practice, I practice that I tell him, coach, like when it makes click and all of a sudden I throw like way further, I
yeah,
say, coach, tell me exactly these words at the competition, no other words. I just need
yeah,
these words and then I'm good, you know? So that's how we
yeah.
do it.
See, that's great because the communication that you kind of read each other's minds, it seems like.
I'm just dropping them off. Exactly.
David, did you have any other questions?
Um, sorry, one more.
Sure.
Um, with the hurdles, do you seven step or eight step to the hurdle, the
Seven.
first
So
hurdle?
I've been seven stepping since even before I came to the US. That's when I started.
Okay. Um, okay. Okay.
You'll be back, I know. Marlene, you had another question for Leo?
Yeah, so Leo, what is your biggest mental challenge when you're competing, and then what do you do? What's your
One second. Thank you. Sorry, I'm gotta get out here. Ah. Okay. Sorry. What was the question?
So what's your biggest mental challenge when you're competing for 2 days?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I would say for me, I think the good thing about the decathlon is that I'm always like really looking forward to a decathlon. Like when I'm doing like just single events, it's kind of like, not doing my thing and it's kind of like getting my ass beat in every event is it's all right, Like it's still fun, but then when I go to the decathlon, it really feels like, oh wow, I'm finally doing my event, my thing, and that gets me excited. And mental challenge, I think what I learned over the years was that I can't, be focused on the result too early. The best decathlons are almost the ones where you're just kind of like going from event to event, not thinking about anything else. And then, towards like when it's like two or three events to go, then you start like realizing, oh, this could be a really good score. And I think this is like one of the biggest things I learned.
Just thinking about the score, being score driven instead of performance driven or
Yeah,
driven.
yeah, just like looking for like at the event to event. For example, at nationals when I won the first time and broke the collegiate record, I was literally just going from event to event, trying to get better and better because Garland and me were back and forth. So looking to the end score was no good for us, and then I kind of realized it once the pole vault was done that, oh wow, this might be something really big. Yeah,
Thank you.
of course.
So do you guys does Leo keeps track of the points in his head, or Jim, you keep a score, or
Uh,
how do you guys work on that?
I'm the point guy. Leo just does what he's supposed to do. He usually is the one yelling at me to put him away.
Yeah, yeah,
Put it
yeah,
away. I don't care what I have to score. Go away. And then 1500 of the 1,000 meters. Well, what do I have to run to do this? All
yeah.
right, this is what we got to do. So, but yeah, that's kind of the deal is that's I'm the numbers guy.
What
Mhm.
is your mindset going into the 1500, Leo?
Oh my God, it's the worst time in my life. It doesn't get nothing is worse than that. Trust. It's not even I can't even describe how bad the feeling is. Like my entire stomach, I can't smile at all. People are like trying, make me happy and stuff. I can't. I'm just in a bad mood. It can't be changed till the 1500 is over. So it's just terrible. But and then like I always ask Garnham like 1,000 times, okay, what do I have to run? How many seconds have in front of him, behind him, blah blah blah, all this stuff, and I just panic. But it's all right. So.
No,
What
it's
kind
it's
of training do you guys do for the 15, or do you?
yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while we do like some 1500 training. We focus more on the 400 and like sometimes we do 400 training that is a little bit over distance, like up to like 600, which like helps the 1500 as well. But yeah, not too much since we're trying to focus on the speeds.
Yeah. So like I've figured out the training, and I know Leo, I don't know if Leo knows this. It's about every 3 to 4 weeks that they hit some kind of 15 or 1,000 meter preparation stuff. So I kind of just keep track of what we do, and yeah, so it's 3 to 4 weeks, and I don't know, we haven't done too much this fall for any of that stuff, just kind of longer stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. And the season is long, yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. You brought up a very good point. This year's season is unbelievably different, with the Worlds in September. Leo, how do you qualify for the German team, or are you qualified?
It's always a gray zone just because, I mean, obviously it's important to hit the standard. And as a German, if you hit the standard, you're basically on the team because we don't have enough people hitting the standard. So yeah, as long as I hit the standard, I'm good. And even if not, I think don't they take like from 2 years ago as well,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's pretty easy to make the German team, I would say.
yeah.
And there's no trials, so
Yeah.
which makes it even easier.
And so you don't have to peak, let's say, for trials the
Oh
way
no, no,
the
no,
US,
no, there's nothing like that.
luckily for you.
I
So,
know.
Jim, how are you planning out his season then?
So we were just talking about that a little bit today. He's gonna do so he has to show fitness to the Germans. I just talked to the main coach today, and basically they just need to see fitness, and he can go to the World Indoor Championships. So he'll do one meet before that. Probably Clemson will be the last meet that we can possibly do. Go to Clemson, do a meet, do a couple events there, then go to World Indoors, and then go to Gotsis, open up at the decathlon in Gotsis. Maybe throw the discus at Texas Relays. That could be fun. I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe pole vault at Texas Relays, and then go to Gotsis, and then figure out that part of it. What's next? I mean, because you'll have to compete a little bit. So because the World Championships for him, I think it's the last 3 days, the last 2 of the 3 days of the World Championships.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's end of September. So it's a long, long, long season. So not going to compete too much. So for him, it's going to be wild because, we've been for the last 2 years, we haven't competed a ton during the season. And so this is going to be few and far between now. So he'll be fresher and ready to go and more like a professional instead of a college guy.
Now that's going to be a change, right? As far as the transition from college to pro. What's your outlook on that, Leo?
I'm just winging it, like I'm just seeing, I don't know. I'm just training every day and trying to do my best, I have no clue what's waiting, but I'm trying to hang in there and take as much as advice as I can from all the coaches and the people that have been through this change already.
Yeah.
Right, right. Coach Williams, you had another question for him?
Yeah, I have two questions now. Yeah, just keep throwing
Okay.
them away. All right, Leo, my first question is what would be your advice for an athlete that's just starting out in the decathlon?
Um, that's a good question. I would say, just, especially like the technical events, try to really be fast in learning them just because, Americans have kind of like a disadvantage because they haven't been doing like, pole vaults like me since they were like 8 years old. So it's not like in their DNA. So just focus on the technical events and just, train a lot, really put a lot of effort in. And I think that's just it. Really, really like to grind.
And my question, the other one's for both of you. How do you guys decide collectively what meets you want to go to? Because I know like a lot of it, decathlon takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort. So sometimes you have to split it up. So how do you decide what you want to do and what you want to work on and when you're going to do decathlons?
Leo, you want to do it or you want me?
You got it. You got it.
Okay. So as far as that, we kind of come up with a plan early in the year. Like Coach Flo we'll kind of figure out when he's going to run. If he's not running, he was usually doing a 4x4. I mean, it was always a thing to do. And so then we kind of go back and forth between what events we want to do. We don't want to do anything where you're going to tax the body, especially like if we go to a 1 day meet and it's like, okay, we're just going to do one event. And let's figure out what event we need work on or what you want to do good in, kind of in that regard. And for him, he's unique. Now, I don't do that with my other kids until they prove to me that they can be like him a little bit. So it's like this weekend we're going to my multi this weekend. We're going to Arkansas tomorrow, and we are they're the guy is doing the pole vault. He's gonna long jump and he's gonna run the hurdles. And obviously Flo's gonna throw him on a 4x4, and my hep girl is gonna she's gonna high jump, long jump, and hurdle, and then obviously run a 4x4. So, but the meet is so spread out for them, they get the work in, and that's all it is too, is just working, using it as work. It's just training. You just get to put it's a glorified training session. You get to put on the burnt orange or whatever color you're wearing and have at it and compete a little bit.
And then for those meets, it's also important that you have to like see it as practice as well. So you shouldn't like, take off of weights or anything, you should like keep working.
Yeah.
And for the multis, you can like slowly like, get down in weights and really get your body ready for the competition.
Yeah.
Do you have any others for him?
Not yet. I might come up with another one, but right now I'm good.
Okay. Andy, you've got your hand up.
Yes, Leo, Coach, thanks for sharing your time with us tonight.
Yeah.
I've always been intrigued by track and field, and in particular the decathlon, because it includes everything.
Mhm.
And I've always wondered about the strategies of in competition, because it is a 2-day event. It's across 10 events. You don't do it all that many times. So I'm thinking, when you're competing, is it, gas pedal to the floor every event, trying to get a PR each time, because you may not, feel that good the next time it rolls around? Do you kind of ration your energy? I mean, it's got to be physically taxing. So you're on a roll in the high jump. Do you go until you miss 3 times? If you hit a PR on your first long jump, do you shut it down? I mean, how do you go about this strategy of a competition?
Okay, I would say that's a good question. I would say always pedal to the metal every single time, no doubt. Like always in every single event, you give it your all. And it's kind of funny because sometimes in a competition, I do like 2 events, like for example, last year in college, and I would be tired after 2 events. But in the decathlon, I don't know what it is, but you have so much energy, so much adrenaline that like even if you do 5 events, it doesn't feel as hard as taxing on your body. And especially since everybody's just coming with you, like all the decathletes are always together, it doesn't feel as bad as if you would do, let's say, 5 single events in a competition. But yeah, always pedal to the metal, give it your all the time. And yeah, in the end, like especially in the decathlon, the heptathlon is okay. It's not that bad. Decathlon, especially in the pole vault, oh my God, you'll feel your body. You get tired and everything, and everybody is just tired. They just, want to stop. But yeah, that's the point where, it hits kind of.
Yeah.
Coach, do you have
I like with Leo, we usually will have like, hey, if you do this, if you jump 8 meters, we're shutting it down. If you
Yeah.
throw 1750, we're shutting it down. Just because I remember at the World Championships, he came out and jumped 789 on his first jump, and the Germans were like, shut him down, shut him down. And I was like, no, it was a horrible jump. We're gonna keep going. And because we had the mindset of he was gonna jump 8 meters that day, and we knew it. It's just putting him on the board and getting in the right spot. And so he ended up jumping 8 meters, and it was good, and they loved me after that, and I didn't they didn't get mad, but they were not happy because we kept jumping them. It's a long meet, you guys don't understand, and we didn't. I mean, it was the first international meet for the like massive meet like that for me, and so I didn't get it. But yeah, I mean, it's usually, yeah, you go in with a plan of, hey, if these things happen, we're gonna be good. I mean, Leo is a very, and especially in the hurdles, he's very just he just wants to get through the hurdles because he is a 6'7", 240 pound guy, and running up on the hurdles is different. There's it's you just want to make sure that's one you want to run fast, but you want to be safe, so you don't want to screw up something like that, especially day 2. So
Thank you.
Okay, so that was your question, Andy. Any more?
No, that's good.
Not right now.
Give someone else a shot.
Okay, Allison, you've got a question.
I do. My name's Allison Wood. I coach high school track, and we always start our track season with a decathlon. We let all the kids do it just to kind of find out where their strengths are. But what we found with doing that is that we have kids that want to do multi-events, in the summer season because they love it so much. But as a coach, what do you say to your athletes when they may have an unfortunate event early on in the competition and not score the points that they were hoping to score?
Yeah, it's just being encouraging. It's especially in the decathlon, there's a lot more, there's more events to go, and so if you screw up something, there's always something else. I mean, obviously, if it keeps getting screwed up, the the amount of events you have to come back on are it's harder, but
Right.
like in the women's pentathlon indoors, I mean, that's tough because
Right.
you screw up an event, it's over. I mean,
Right.
you're looking out, and then so in the HEP, it's the same thing. You can have probably one screw up, and that's it. The deck, you can definitely have a couple fumbles. I mean, and still be in it and still keep a clear mindset. Now, that's the tough part though, is that whole mental part of it is
Right.
saying, "Hey, I screwed up. I got to let it go." And I was a guy like that. I wouldn't let things go. Leo is really good at that, like compartmentalization. He can shut it down and go on, move on to the next event. Whereas, like, I have a guy now that literally will just dwell on everything that happens to him. So, you
So
know,
then what do you do for that guy?
you just got to work with him and be positive. I mean, and that's the biggest thing is like, hey, you're gonna be fine. I promise you. It's gonna work out. And like that's what I do every single day. I'm encouraging, and he's just the guy is here. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be a national guy and everything else. But he's just always really hard on himself. And it's just like, look, man, you're getting better. The technique is better. It's going to get there, and you're gonna be good when the time is right. So
Cool. All right. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome, Alice.
Good. Leo, what do you do for recovery?
I do a lot of stretching every day, daily, morning, evening, then massages every week, and just like the basic stuff. Yeah, it's that's really it. And then like deep tissue stuff like on myself and rolling out like literally everything you would think of. But
Mhm.
just I think the important thing is just consistency to like always keep that up. Yeah. So just consistently, working on yourself.
Yeah.
Do you have a daily routine that you do after practice?
Yes, like every morning, I have a morning routine, evening routine of what I do, to take care of the body, and yeah, and just keeping up with that every single time is the most important thing.
Now, without getting too personal, are you still taking classes or what do you do during the day?
No, I don't take classes currently. Like, there's always something keeping me busy. So I mean, I do social media as well, so I do
Right.
edit a lot, but like, there's always something to do. Oh my God, like always some email I have to check, fill out, do, send, flights everywhere. Always something that, keeps me busy.
Okay. So you're not bored. Not at all. Coach, does he sometimes get too preoccupied with other things?
No, I think he's actually really good with it, honestly. He has learned to, especially with the success that he's had recently and everything else, he's learned to maneuver everything in a good way, and it's never an issue, if it's I mean, he's already told me he's got to go back to Germany for something later on in the month, and it's just like, okay, so we just work around it, and it's stuff that he has to do, but he's not a guy that we have to worry about, like, hey, he's not going to get a session in, he's not going to get a lift in, and so everything he does is good, and I have yet to see anything negatively affect him from anything that's gone on. And that's the tough part is, when you get into, these things like the World Championships and all that and the Olympics and everybody's going to push and pull you different ways. And, he's pretty good about saying yes and no. So it's pretty, I commend him for that because I don't think as a 24-year-old human being I could do that. So you want to give me this? You want to fly me there? Yes, I'm doing everything. Screw track, screw this. I'm gonna go this, make some money, do this. And so yeah, no, he's done an awesome job with it.
Well, that's good to hear because again, like you say, the draw right now, because Leo, you obviously came out of there with an outstanding performance, but the media and the social media. I follow you online, and you are very active online. And it would be real easy to get caught up in that life and kind of think, well, I've been there, done that at the Olympics, so I'm not going to worry too much. So it's good to hear that you're saying yes and no to things. We're glad you said yes tonight.
Yeah.
Um,
Of course, of course.
what would you, or how would you describe the Olympic Village experience? Or did you stay in the village?
Yes, I stayed at the village, and the experience was just something completely different from anything I've known. Just because every single athlete or person that's walking there is a top level athlete in their event, and then just meeting so many people that I would never meet ever in my life. Like there's some certain, for example, Olympic lifters that I really look up to, and then just meeting them, talking them with them there is was kind of cool. And I will never meet them probably again, out besides maybe the next Olympics, but you know it's just such different worlds that like collide, which is really really cool.
What would you say was that, not the meet, obviously, but off of the track meet, what would be your most exciting memory?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, just watching, for example, beach volleyball was really really cool. Like it was the most beautiful venue right in front of the Eiffel Tower. That was probably the my best part, my favorite part, or just like discovering Paris a little bit more.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Not the German house. That was fun.
Oh my God, yeah, you're right. The German house was
Sorry.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun too.
Jim, tell us about the German house.
I mean, the Team Germany rented out a football stadium, and literally the soccer stadium, football there, soccer.
Yeah.
The bottom was for all German people. They'd pay to come in, and then on the top level is where like the Olympians they'd have like when Leo came in with a medal.
It
It
was
was
called the Medal Walk.
the medal
Basically,
walk.
like a bunch of people were like that bought tickets for the house, were inside the house. Basically, everything completely full. You like walk through everybody just celebrating you, and
Yeah.
then there's like the stage because they have like a tailgate in the middle of this rugby stadium for all the Germans.
Oh
There's
my,
like hundreds and hundreds of Germans there, and then you're on the stage popping champagne into the crowd and stuff. So it's
Drinking lots of beer and drinking
yeah,
champagne.
yes.
Oh,
how many days did it take you to recover from that?
I mean, it wasn't too. I didn't do too much there. It just I just had a lot of fun, just because they really celebrate you, and then you were like, wow, this is so cool that so many people are so happy for you. But I mean, I didn't go crazy there by any means.
no, I did, but
You went crazy, coach?
yeah, I mean that's what it was there for. 2 days of the month in Germany leading up to all of it, and finally it was the culmination of winning a medal and just hanging out with his family and management, and yeah, it was awesome. It was a pretty, I mean, yeah, it
That's
was
great.
probably one of the most special moments of my life. So
Well, now you mentioned the German team coaches.
yeah.
What kind of relationship do you have, and how do you keep that going through the year?
Yeah, I think like the big thing that we talked about earlier is the communication part of it. Like they called today to find out what Leo was, the plan for Leo if he was going to go to Europeans or he's going to go to World Indoors, and the decision was made to go to Worlds. But yeah, no, we're really I think we have a good relationship. I mean, I text with him almost daily, and there's a few of them that yeah, I'm heading there to do a recruit trip and at the end of the month, and I'm gonna go have coffee with those guys and just hang out, and yeah. So no, I think the relationship is good. In the beginning, it's stressful because I'm an American coaching a German athlete, and they have their German national coaches, so
Right.
it's different. So in the beginning, I don't think like when I was in Budapest, it was different, but then Paris, it was, he's the number one guy in the world, just missed 9,000 points. And it's just like, okay, well, maybe we know what we're doing a little bit. So,
Don't mess him up. Leave him
yeah. So
alone.
no, it was good. I mean, no, it's been a really good, relationship with them, and the communication is there always. So,
Oh, well, that's good. That's good because I could see a lot of friction just with traditional, this is the way we do it, Germany team, rah rah, and then there comes this American guy coming in there. So
yeah.
Coach, when you set up your training or just at the workout, do you use technology? And if so, what kind?
So right now it's just we were talking about that a little earlier with Amy's stuff, but right now it's just the just Apple. You know, I use my phone most of the time. I'm getting a new iPad because the one I have doesn't turn on anymore, so I don't know what I did to it. So, but no, Leo is we film almost everything. I think I have more video or more pictures of Leo than I do my family on my phone, which is fine. It happens. He's like my kid, so.
Right.
Um, but no, so yeah, so everything we do is on that. And then send it to him so he can see some stuff and just kind of look at different stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of constant feedback at practice.
What kind of strategy or do you guys have between events? You know, I mean, there's the 5 and 5, obviously.
Yeah.
So between the 5 events on day one or day two, do you guys have a plan of action going in, or how's that
So
work?
normally we after each event you do a little fueling. He has his nutrition stuff that he does and he can kind of talk about that. I know he's at the pro volleyball game here in Austin, I think. So he's just
Oh,
kind of
okay.
walking around. But so yeah, so you have that between events, and then we usually eat during the shot put. We'll have some kind of sandwich or something during the shot put. And during the Olympics, it's different because there's like 6 or 7 hour break between after the shot put and the high jump. Um, they wanted us to stay in the village. They wanted us to stay at the track. We took a bus back to the village because it just, we can eat and just kind of relax. He could shower and everything else and get away from the track and get his mindset kind of stuff. So yeah, he has a whole fueling deal that he worked out with Sam, our dietitian, and Clint, his strength coach, um, and how it all works. But yeah.
Leo, do you want to share any of that, or is that part of the secret?
I mean, yeah, it's just like a good communication between everybody. And yeah, as coach said, like with strength coach and nutritionist and everybody, we're just all on the same page. And they helped me with all kinds of things. I remember, like especially Clint when he was still also our weights coach, and always at every competition, he would always have like a little goodie bag for me, and he would always give me whatever I need,
Yeah.
electrolytes or whatever. But yeah, it's just a good combination of everything.
Yeah.
Can you be a little more specific on what everything is or what's in the goodie bag?
So electrolytes, just a lot of like salty stuff, like these little salt packages, to put them into the Gatorade, Powerade, whatever you drink.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the number one thing I would say, and like the right stuff, and this also basically salt. Then for during the competition, all kinds of like sugary things, like little gummy bears or whatever, to get the little boost. And then just in general a lot of food in between, because it burns so much and you run out of energy so fast or out of fuel that you have to always refuel.
Are there different mindset going into different events, or how do you handle transition?
No, it's always like you always have to think of exactly what you did in practice for every single event. There's not really different mindsets. There's different things you can eat before different events. Like before the shot put, you should have a real meal, just because your stomach can be a little heavier, and it's best to do it not before high jump, for example. There's a lot of these little things.
Coach, do you come up with any of this and work with the weight training coach on that, or do you just let them handle it?
No, I let them do it. They're the professional at the dietitian and the nutrition stuff. So I just, and I know it works for him. And so when I left, they just gave me a bunch of the extra stuff, like what he just said, and so I took a whole bunch of stuff with me, and so he had a ton of it in Paris, and the same thing in Budapest. So just kind of the same thing. And like when he was here at Texas, it was always same exact stuff. So yeah, no. They do their job, and my job is to make sure, like, hey, you need to do this, you need to eat this, make sure you're fueling, make sure you have some electrolytes, make sure you're drinking water, and so yeah.
Do you have any specific plan of activities from day one to day two,
Just
or
go ahead, Leo.
Me?
strategies or whatever?
Activities and like what kind of?
Well, like, I mean, usually day one is goes pretty late, and then by the time you do recovery or eat or whatever, rest is maybe at a minimum. Is there anything in particular that you want to make sure you get done between day one and day two?
No, to be honest, no. Relax.
Just sleep. Just make sure refuel and sleep.
Literally.
Just
Eat
sleep.
and sleep.
If you have too many things that you say to yourself that you have to do, then whenever you don't have those things, then it's messed up, and you never know. Every decathlon is different. Some decathlons at Texas, for example, I had so much time after day one, and then I basically had half a day free to do whatever. And then in some competitions, for example, Budapest, I literally was in bed at like 1 a.m. or so,
Yeah.
just because like they left us so early there, and then you have to go through a bunch of things, get a little massage, and like it's always different. So it's best to not, say to yourself that you have to do a certain thing.
I see. Yeah. No, that makes sense. What would you consider as your strongest event and then the one that you need most work on?
Strongest event, discus, just because I've been really good, especially the last year now. And then this weakest event, I would say javelin, just because there's I think there's so much potential. Like the 1500 is also not my best, but I think javelin is the one where I can like get the most out of it.
Now that's interesting. So, Jim, how do you handle that practice wise?
It's tough because there's stuff that he does in practice, then you're just like, hey, let's just do that in the meet and you're going to be fine. So going into Paris, we had sessions where we were throwing over 60 meters and you're just like, all right, cool. At this time, we're going to be just, no, I'm talking. What do you want? This is my son, everybody. He's
Hi,
hiding.
son. How are you?
This is the boy. Now go away. You don't have anything to say. Go on, please.
He says
Go.
that you actually are doing something now.
Yes. No. Come on, please. It's right here. Go, please. Please stop. I'm so sorry. Don't
No,
take
that's
me.
okay.
Oh gosh. Sorry about that. Patty Sue, don't laugh. I know you're laughing right now. So what was the question? I'm so sorry.
The training difference between javelin and discus.
Oh, yeah. The training with the javelin is we throw, I mean, we do everything and it's sitting with the Germans this summer and listening to what they were saying and what we're doing and we can make some tweaks and hopefully that those things work out. We're just missing I think it's just one little piece that you're missing on it and the discus is like that's his bread and butter. That's a wild thing and the two of them are very similar. It's just that there's just a little bit of a disconnect with the javelin, that's all. But I mean, I've seen him throw it far. We were ready to roll, and it's one of those things. And when you get into those long meets, it's just brutal. So it just the energy gets going. So
Well, that's it. I mean, you just never know. I mean, that's
yeah,
the thing too, is you have to be able to redirect event to event and be able to bounce back with that.
yeah.
Let's see here. Leo, what would you say, what is your goal this season coming up? I mean, obviously to do well at Worlds, I would assume, but do you have any other type of goal?
I honestly just to be on the same path as I've been the last couple of years now, just keep doing my thing and staying healthy, and yeah, that's literally it. Just keep doing what I'm doing.
Now, speaking of health, have you had any injuries or in your career that
Not really. Like I had one like bigger one when I was younger, when I was like 15, I want to say. But then since then, I've always been healthy, and I hope to stay healthy. And I'm doing a lot to stay healthy as well.
Mhm.
But I've been very lucky in that sense, and yeah, very grateful.
Well, that's good. That's good,
Yeah.
definitely. DeAndre, you've got some questions.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Leo and Jim, thank you guys for being on. My first question is, do you guys have film sessions together, and if so, how often? Um, and not just how often, like what are you guys breaking down? Can you guys give us some specifics?
I think with us, is our film session would be more just right there at the event that we're working on, and then just trying to look at different things like oh, this worked, and go back through past videos and find the past videos that, hey, this is what worked on this day, and this is what we're trying to do, and hey, this felt different. Why did this feel different? And I mean, we did that in when we were in training camp. There was something that we were doing wrong in the discus, and it wasn't flying. And one thing we realized that the discus cage was super narrow, and Leo like narrowed his feet. He's like out of this little tiny base, and we're just like, wait a second, this isn't what we do. And then we started the session over, wider base, bigger throws, and it was just these little things that you catch. So, yeah, but we don't necessarily have office time where we go and watch videos or anything because it was with him it was Leo and Christine, my heptathlete. So, I mean, we had pretty solid sessions where we could watch video and kind of work together with everything. So, yeah.
Thank you. And I have
Yeah.
one more.
Yeah.
And this, you um, how are you preparing for your competitions for deck or for hep, like mentally? Do you journal? Do you visualize? How are you remembering what you and Jim are discussing? I think you guys talked about like knowing each other, but I want to dive a little deeper on like what's your preparation like?
Yeah, so I would say I've been doing this just for so long. I think it's also experience, like know what works for you. Then the week before is kind of when I really like lock in terms of, mentally getting ready, just, being very intentional with everything I do. And yeah, just, it's a build up and then that's kind of how I do it. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's not a lot.
No, and he does journaling as well. Like you keep a journal and everything else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I do write a lot down. Not like everything, but like a lot.
Now, is that something new or have you done that a long time?
No, I don't know. I've been doing it like I picked up a lot of stuff the last like 2 years, kind of, and yeah, that's something I picked up as well.
Okay, good. DeAndre, you have anything else? DeAndre.
Sorry, ma'am. No, that's all I got. Thank you guys so much.
Okay. Have you ever had a disagreement, you two, over something? Everything seems to be so yay kumbaya type stuff, but have there ever been a problem and how did you guys work it out?
Coach?
has there ever been a problem? Yeah, there's always problems. There's always problems, but no, it's just the biggest thing is communication, like just talking about it. Hey, I didn't like this, and you said something I didn't like, and let's fix it. So yeah, no, we definitely there's always stuff like, hey, I don't see what you're saying here, and this and that. I mean, that was early on, especially the first couple of years with Leo. It's just I mean, I'm different with what he's used to, and the guy that I replaced, he was different, and so it was like one of these things, just learning each other, and yeah, there's always, no matter what, I mean, it's a relationship, right? So there's gonna be
Right.
some kind of breakdown at some point in time, and just how you deal with it, and he and I are, I mean, I consider him one of my good friends, and so yeah, it's easy, you just sit there and you like, yeah, I don't like that, but let's figure it out. So.
Right.
You know,
Would you agree, Leo?
Yeah, I would definitely say we often have our differences, but I mean, lately, most of the time, it's literally just fun things, just
yeah,
because we are like really good friends.
yeah,
Yeah, but we had also our more serious differences, and there was just also communication. We were just talking about it and said, okay, it's all good.
yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's kind of how that goes. Some people say
Right.
we're like an old married couple.
Well, that's the best way to do it, I think.
Yeah.
What would you say, Leo's the most difficult part of competing in a decathlon?
I think back to earlier what I was saying to just like focus on every event. Don't take the event before too serious. If it didn't go as well, or if it went well, take the momentum into the next event. But yeah, just be present, give it your best in every event, and that's kind of like a decathlete spirit.
Yeah, that I would agree. That's a pretty good multi-event concept there. Coach, what would you have as advice toward to a younger coach coming in that has not much experience with the combined events? What would be
Yeah.
your advice?
I would say, my degree is in education. So as a teacher, you share everything with people. So my suggestion is find a mentor, talk to that person, talk to as many people as you can that will talk to you, and then just build off of that. I mean, I was at the convention and I just sat with people for hours who I didn't even know, just talking, and just creating a relationship because that's what I did when I came up and it's just, this is 1999 was my first year Division I coaching. And so it's like I was a baby, and it's like crazy. So, but it's like, yeah, I would say the biggest thing is just try to talk to people, find somebody to chat with and who you can just talk track to and philosophies and technical stuff. I mean, I have a group of people that I do. I mean, I met with one of my best friends who was my roommate when I was at Notre Dame. I mean, we talk all the time. I mean, he's a pole vault guy, but he's also a massive track guy. And so it's like, hey, I have a question. Why is this happening? And he's like, shows me. And so I'm not too prideful. You know what I mean? Like I don't know everything. So it's just, I mean, that's the unique thing that we have here is like with Flow, it's just like when they're doing stuff, I'm kind of watching and seeing what they're doing and learning. So, I mean, it's just that's how I would say. I mean, yeah, try to
Now,
find somebody who you chat with and
mhm.
talk to. I mean, I'm here. So, no matter what, I mean, I'm wide open. So, I've got some good friends out of the whole thing. So,
Now, would you say in planning the workout, you oversee it and then like ask Flo what the what days he wants Leo for what, and then you put it in, or how's that go?
no, so Flo does all the running stuff. So, I know the days that Flo is running with him. So, Mondays and Fridays are the Flo workouts. So, I know for a fact he's going to be with him. So, I have specific times that I have to be done with him so he can get over. So usually we start at 12:30 and by 2 o'clock he's sprinting and he's
Oh,
running.
okay.
So and then same thing with the hurdles. It's either going to be a Tuesday or Thursday depending on how hard Monday was.
I
So,
see. Okay.
yeah.
Leo, what would you say is the most valuable lesson that you've learned from a loss?
I'm sorry, say that again.
The most valuable lesson that you have learned from a loss?
Oh my God. Like, I think from losses, that's the only lessons that you get. Like, I think losses are like almost more important for development for somebody than wins. Since from wins you don't learn anything, from losses that's when you learn a lot. Like especially like Budapest and all the things before when I didn't win, and it was kind of a disappointment. I took so much away from those things that I got better and better, and it showed over the years.
Mhm. So do you have in Germany, are you a role model there for the young decathletes? Are they putting you in that position?
I think so. I get so many messages saying that like I motivate people and that they are inspired by me, which like motivates me even more, to keep going what I'm doing, and it's just beautiful.
Mhm. Coach, have you had to tailor or change any of your coaching style to work with Leo?
Yeah, yeah. Like my philosophies early on was, that like I said earlier, it's there's a throw, a jump, and a run 3 times a week, and so we definitely changed that.
Mhm.
So it's usually just a throw and a run or throwing a jump or and a run or whatever, however it is. So yeah, we definitely changed that. And I mean, I think it's for the better too. So I mean, his first year with me, he was beat up and we learned from that. He screwed up a couple decathlons and we had to do 3 decathlons and we did a fourth and so it
Oh,
was
well,
bad. So, but again, it was just those things that we learned from it, right? It's just like, okay, we're gonna hit a qualifier and then we're gonna NCAA's and that's it. Those are our two for the year. So we'll do 4 multi events and call it a day. And last year and this year we ended up getting an extra one, Budapest and Paris. So
what do
yeah.
you do, Leo? I'll ask Leo and then I'll ask Jim. Recovery after the combined event, after, you hear different things about it takes 2 weeks or whatever between.
I feel
Sorry.
like we can do it in any time, to be honest. Like I had to come back after internationals after 2 weeks to do the decathlon, and then I already did pretty awesome. I didn't feel 100%, but it's always the way you set it up. I think to like get a full recovery, I would say like a month at least,
Mhm.
like till you do the next competition. But yeah, it's also from athlete to athlete very different.
Sure, sure.
Leo is a 3 week. He's the 3 week guy.
Yeah.
After 2 weeks he'll start jogging, and then the third week he'll start doing a little bit, and then by the fourth week we're full go, and then yeah.
Was the same with Christine or other heptathletes?
No, Christine was different. She the more rest she got, the worse she got. So she wanted to get back in and go, and then yeah, it was different, because it was the two of them. It was just like she could go and had that training mentality, and like Leo, he needed his break. I mean, he is a big guy, and there's a more events and everything else. I get that and stuff. So yeah.
Would you say there was, in your time working with him, was there a defining moment or performance that just like clicked with you, like, oh my God, this guy's going to be good?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a moment that something happened, and I don't know where we were at. We were at a meet, and I know Flo got on him a little bit about something. Um, and I don't remember what it was, but it just completely transformed the conversation that they had. I don't know when it was, or I can't remember it, and I should remember it, and he might remember it, but it just completely, it's like I mean, it might have been even in practice. It's like you're just out here BSing, and you could be a world record holder, you can be a gold medal winner. It's up to you. It's you to make that decision if this is what you want to do. And so um yeah, I think when that conversation happened, there was a flip with him, and then the training got better, and everything got better with him.
Mhm.
So, and then yeah, it was just this one deal that, yeah. And then
Well,
after that, it's kind of history, right? I
right,
mean,
right.
so he just motivated himself to go, and it was always there. He just needed to get kicked in the butt a bunch of times to go.
Well, I was wondering as he has gotten better, because I think what first time at a Worlds he was 10th and then 5th and then second. Is that
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
sequence there. And so in your training philosophy, sometimes people say work on your best events and kind of let your not so good ones go, or work on your weaker events and don't work so much on your best events. What philosophy do you have?
So the kind of philosophy we had is we went in each year and tried to get better in something different. And it didn't have to be, a great event or a bad event. It just had to be, we need to get better. And that was the difference in, and his competition in college is just like everybody just kind of, they were good, but they stayed good. Whereas Leo was good, and then he got better. And it just, that was how it went every time. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, that's kind of how it is. Leo, you have to row? Do you have to go? I'm sorry.
Yes, if that's okay.
Oh, okay. You have your social engagement here.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Leo, for the time
So,
today, because
Of
I'm
course.
we
sorry.
really
I just
appreciate
know
it.
he's there, and so I know he's there to see somebody. So,
Oh, okay.
so I
Okay.
apologize.
No,
All
thank
right.
you so much, Leo.
Of course, I got you. Have a good
Okay.
one.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Leo. We'll see
Thanks.
you. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no,
I just
that's
know he's going to see he's off now, I can say it. He's going to see a female volleyball player. So
well, when he said he was going to beach volleyball, I didn't want to get too much into
yeah,
it,
no.
but I
He
figured
loved beach
his
volleyball, but yeah, it is a professional team playing here in Austin, and one of the girls on the Texas team is on it, and he is absolutely in love with her. So
oh.
without throwing him under the bus too much.
So how do you deal, does that between you and I know we have had different relationship issues with him over the years.
Yeah, for sure.
How has that affected his training at all, or is he able
No,
to
it's
keep
it's
it?
kind of wild. The whole, like, when he does not have, he's not in a relationship with anybody. He is completely focused on himself. Um, Now there's some distractions every now and again. He'll go on a date or whatever, no big deal. But he is not wanting to be in a relationship with a female, or he doesn't want, because it's time. He has specific things that he does every single day, and I get a PDF of it every Monday of what his time schedule looks like and what he does at night and what he does in the morning as far as what he has to do as far as content and all that. So,
Mhm.
like when he broke up with his girlfriend after 2.5 years, I mean, that was the difference of 70, 8,300 points to 89, 8,800 points was that year. So I think he just kind of took all the external and
Mhm.
then just put it right into focused on track, and he's really good with that. I mean, and then that's one of those things that it is pretty it's amazing to watch it as far as how grown up and how mature he is with it. So
That is pretty good because
yeah,
again, you think of a young guy and
yeah.
as to sometimes not being able to. And then of course now coaching females, do you have a similar experience or do you find them different as far as their personal life?
No, I mean it's the same. I mean I coached two high jumpers that dated each other last year, boy, and it was the worst thing in the world. It's like one has amazing weekend, and the other one doesn't, and so you can't celebrate. You're always going back to the one that didn't do well, and so they broke up, and it was great, and now I've just found out they're back together, but she's not on the team anymore, which is good. But it's just one of those things that was just never, and that's the thing with Flo is always saying, there's 52,000 other people here. Go find someone else. Don't date your teammates. And it's the truth. Because it's just you can never celebrate the good stuff because it's like unless you both have a great meet, and
Right.
or a great practice or whatever. So
What would you say is that a team rule? Don't date your team.
no, no, we can't do that because we'll get in
Oh,
trouble
okay.
for that. So no, it's just his the way he is with everything. It's just
It's
because
smart.
it's a massive distraction. It
Oh
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you say, when one does well and one doesn't, then it's very difficult for everybody
Yeah.
all the way around. What are some qualities, and not just with multis, but now with the athletes that you work with, what are some of the qualities that you see an athlete who's really going to be exceptional? Are there special qualities that they have versus kind of an average athlete?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my events are obviously the vertical ones, so leaving off the ground, and I mean, it's just like watching someone who can just is horrible off the ground, like has a horrible run in the high jump, but can just bounce off the ground. You're like, okay, I need to figure out how to get that guy to do this. And like I have a heptathlete from California who can bounce, and it's just getting her in the right positions now and everything else. So yeah, I think you have the guy and the girl that are kind of like my decathlete. He's not the most athletic guy, but he trains his butt off and it's going to benefit him later on. And he works really hard at what he does. And he just doesn't have that, off the ground. But eventually he'll get to the point where everything is pretty consistent, pretty solid, and everything else. But yeah, there definitely are differences. I mean, when you watch somebody run for the first time and you just all of a sudden you can see their gait and how they run, and you're just like, okay,
Mhm.
you are different. So, and then you have the guy that runs like, Tom Cruise and in Mission Impossible, and we all have them. So it's just, yeah. So yeah, you can definitely see the difference of it. It's just getting the piece of them out, getting what you need out of them as far as like getting to that level of elite level kind of stuff.
Now, when you work with somebody at the Worlds or at the Olympics, how are you handling your emotions?
Yeah. Yeah.
How does
That's
that work?
tough. It's tough because you put just I mean you're not physically putting in what they are, but mentally you are definitely putting in a lot more than them as far as stuff. Um, we were in Budapest and Leo was just not throwing the discus very well. And he had thrown pretty solid that year. And Chris Mack came up to me and he said, change your face because he's reading your face. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he told me, and I was like, oh man, because he could see in my face that I was not happy and I was stressed out and everything else. So we learned. And then from that moment on, it was like, okay, so I have to approach this a different way. And then we ended up vaulting high and throwing the javelin far. And yeah, anyway. But again, it's one of those things where mentally you just kind of like, yeah, like at Paris. I mean, I got caught on live TV cursing, and I had to make an apology to BBC, and because he basically ruined, he lost his medal, he lost his gold medal in the discus because he warmed up over 58 meters and threw 53 meters. So we lost 150, almost 200 points. And so me in my mind, no, well, we're done. I mean, he can have the best pole vault. We can do stuff better, but that was the breaking point because everybody was like, "Oh, I'm still in this." So you got to shut the door right there. So I got caught saying the F word on national like world TV. So, and it was embarrassing and it was fun, and my wife yelled at me, and so it was good.
Well, how do you change, have you changed then that to, as to being more neutral, I guess?
Yeah, it's just checking yourself. It's just like, hey, what am I, what are you feeling? So it's like if I'm feeling frustrated and stuff like that. I mean, after the discus, we were both frustrated. So it was like we both were pretty mad. And he had made a phone call to Christine to talk to Christine and be like, hey, and she was like, get your butt in gear and shut up and stop crying and whatever. And I was the same thing. I was just trying to be as positive as I could. Like, hey, we're still in this kind of stuff. And it's just like if you can feel like that tension, then he can see it. And he's really
Right.
good at reading me. So I mean, we have a pretty good relationship. So in that regard, so yeah, it's just like one of those things that you just gotta make sure you're fake smiling and just like, hey, it's gonna be good. And but in the inside, you're just like tearing up inside. So
Exactly. No,
yeah.
I think anybody that coaches field events where they go for a period of time, you've got to do that.
Yeah.
Even if inside you're dying, as you've got to portray calm, cool, collected to the
Oh
kid.
yeah.
But then sometimes the kid needs a kick in the butt too. So that's where
Oh
the
yeah. Yeah,
communication
no, for sure. Like
and
three,
knowing them.
two misses in the long, two scratches in the long jump, and you're like, hey, you're gonna be fine. Just move back a little bit, and inside your blood pressure is through the roof. I mean, I remember we were in Birmingham at the indoor national meet. The meet the men won the first NCAA title for Texas men's track and field,
Right.
and he has two misses at his opening bar, and they are not even close. And like I have a ring, like the thing, whatever. My heart rate was at 165 beats a minute. And I was just standing there. And I saw a picture of myself and I like looked like nothing. Like it was 80 degrees out, sun was outside, and there were roses and smelling roses kind of stuff. It was the craziest thing, but I screenshotted it. It was 165 for that like 2.5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Well,
I was terrified.
could you take us through each of the 10 events and cues that you usually use either with him or general cues, like if you use it with the other guys or with Christine?
Yeah, no, like the 100-meter dash is always stay down and drive in the blocks because he has a tendency to stand up right away. So just stay down and push 20 and then stand up and then go eat everybody up. Long jump is just long short, That's kind of our concept is just his big thing is he goes out of the back too quick, and so you just got to make sure, hey, make sure you push for 6, don't turn over. Shot is basically just keeping the left shoulder back, and just smack the hell out of it. And he does that pretty well. High jump, pressure on the curve because he doesn't jump much. So it's wild because it's like going into the meet, it's just, we don't jump. So it's, hey, this is what I'm feeling. Okay, well then let's try to do this. That's actually like one of the, um, it's like a technical session. It's like a training session. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool that we get to do it. And then like with the quarter, it's just not get out too hard, but get out, but you can't go crazy. So like when we were in Budapest, he went out crazy hard, blew up. And then when we were in Paris this summer, he went out way too easy, and then he closed so fast. And then we were just like, I called Flo, literally finished. I was like, this is what he did. And he's like, damn it, he could have run for 46 seconds, and I was like, I know, but he didn't do it. Hurdles, I'm always wanting him to be aggressive, and he just runs really safe. He runs not to fall because he's fallen one time, and so just I want him to be aggressive, but I know what happens, so it's just like get through him. Um, Discus Q is just being how I'm trying to think of the setup out of the back is just it's got to be the same. So it's the same rhythmic. It's just being rhythmic out of the back.
Mm.
Sometimes he wants to go too fast. He'll throw really hard his left side away and stuff like that. The vault is just try to jump off the ground. He's on massive, massive, massive poles. Um, and so it's just like jump up, try to get as high as we can with the right hand. That doesn't happen. So he just, it's just the things that we try to do. But, and then the javelin is always about just, well, he'll be embarrassed if I say this, but it was sexy tension this summer. That's what we talked about. On his best days, I don't know we were listening to music and sexy tension was keeping tension. I don't know what it meant. And the 1500, he just runs, just stick, this person's going to run stay there, and that's
Mhm.
just kind of how it works.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. That's good. What would you say is your proudest moment as a coach and why?
I mean, honestly, there's a couple of them, but obviously they're gonna do with Leo or Christine of my two kids. Um, I think the year that they both were second and third at NCs were pretty good, and um, it was pretty awesome feeling to know that you have two of the best combined eventers at your school killing it and doing well.
Mhm.
Um, but I think one of probably with Leo would have been, I mean, obviously the silver medal in the Olympic Games is pretty freaking special, right? I mean,
Yes.
I mean, it just was one of those things, and I was in a moment, and I was like sitting there, and he had gone, got his the German flag, hugged him, and kind of went away. And I was like, right there, I was going to get emotional and I was like, going to let it all out. And then I hear, Coach Garnham, Coach Garnham. And I look back and it's one of my high jumpers that was at the Olympics watching. And I was like,
Oh,
well, I'm done. No more. But I think that moment there was like, yeah, I think that's probably the proud papa moment. It's just,
that's a special moment for
yeah.
sure, for sure. Well, we're close to the end here. Does anybody else have any question for Coach? Let's see. I don't see any hands or anything. Now, Christine has gone to Illinois. Is that correct?
Yes, she did. She transferred to Illinois. She hasn't competed yet, which I'm curious why she hasn't competed because they're all opened up. So I don't know if they're doing a multi this weekend or not.
Oh,
It's
okay.
sad because I can't talk to her, and
That's
I
what I
mean,
was going to ask
yeah,
is
I miss her a
there,
ton. I do. I
yeah,
do. It's,
yeah.
4 years with somebody every single day, and now she's at a different school, and you're just like, ah.
Yeah, I
So
found that very interesting, but then I guess money talks. So,
yeah, yeah. Coach didn't bring back anybody that just had indoor this year. I mean, he was
ah,
pretty consistent with it. So it's a full scholarship that you got to eat up for the outdoor season. So
I see. Yeah. No, I knew it was a scholarship, or that's what I'd heard. Let's put it that way.
yeah,
Have
it sucks.
have these new rules or these unknowing rules with NC2A, are you going to be trying to get any more or getting more Americans, or are you still going after whoever's the best?
It's probably more that whoever's the best kind of stuff. I mean, I'm still going to recruit the American kids. I'm still doing all of that. But it's so wild this whole thing. Actually, it's funny because the Scholar Books thing that is like running rampant over at the NCAA right now. That's what Leo came over on.
Oh,
Leo started that program. He was one of the first ones ever to join Scholar Books and come to the US. And now it's just like it's it's gotten to the point where you can buy athletes for $50,000. You can buy a Kenyan for $50,000, which is it's not track and field. That's not the way it works. I mean, it's just
What is that? I'm not
so
familiar.
Scholar Books is it's a recruiting based company that basically gets you in touch with Africans and so the African nations, and then you get European kids.
Ah,
So, and they have access to them. And I mean, they're nice people. I talked to the one guy, I'm talking to him now because the girl I'm going to visit is part of it, but I've been recruiting her since before she joined the Scholar Book stuff. So I said, you mean, I'm going to visit her, I'm going to talk to her, and I'm going to sign her. So whether you like it or not, it's what's going to happen. So, but no, it's just that you pay them a fee, an annual fee, and anybody who signs up for their program as far as the university, they have first access to the athletes that they have. And they're good athletes. So,
hmm.
a lot of good athletes. I mean, I think there were 36 cross country runners that were part of at NCAA's that was part of
Oh,
this program. So
wow.
most of the Kenyans coming to the US are, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is. Yeah, so he is Joe. I just saw that. Yeah,
yeah.
Joe is a friend of mine, and he left coaching to go do that.
Oh,
So
geez.
yeah,
No
so
wonder the Americans are not getting
yeah,
recruited
it's
quite as
tough.
much here.
It's tough. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's and then with roster limits and roster reductions and stuff like that, that's even tougher. So it's just like with us, I know right now, currently, I think we're at 27 men for next year and then the SEC says we can have 30, I think, or 35,
35,
but I
I
think
think is
Texas
what
is
he said.
going 27. We might go to 30, and the women will be 45, and the cross country would be 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Marcia, you got a quick question to close us down?
I do. Thanks, Coach. Do you feel that the name, image, and likeness is a distraction? And is it an issue? You don't really hear about it in track. There are a few people that do have some sponsorships or
Yeah.
name, image, and likeness deals. But do you feel like that's a distraction for a lot of people in our sport, or is it more aimed at the marquee sports like
I think
football,
in our
basketball?
Yeah, no, I think in track and field, there's a few that have it. Fortunately, I have a guy on my team, Sam Hurley, who's probably one of the highest paid track and field athletes in the country, but he's really good and it doesn't affect what we do. He's awesome about everything that he does. We don't miss practice. We don't nothing for it. Now, I think football, basketball, I mean, heck, basketball, there's people leaving teams. The guy from
Yeah.
Tennessee just left his quit. He's like, it's like, what? And,
Yeah, Miami has 8
Miami,
guys in the portal, and they were in the Final Four, and their guys are all
no,
happy, but they're like
no,
looking for a better deal. And I'm like, what do you do with $3 million when you're 18? Or
you blow it on stupid stuff.
Yeah.
It is wild. I definitely think. I think it's not great for us. It's not at all. I mean, obviously there's going to be changes being made to it um with this whole collective thing going away. Oh, hi, sweetheart. So, with this collective thing possibly there's some massive things that are going to happen in the end of April or
Mhm.
mid-April. Things are going to happen, and so we'll see how that goes and see what happens with all of it. But I think there's going to be definitely some changes that happen, and I think the NCAA should have stepped in all beforehand, but now it's like just backtracking
Yeah.
and that's what it is. So
Yeah. That could be
Okay.
a whole nother, a whole nother
You
topic.
don't hear,
yeah,
I mean, there's some of it with track, like your guy, but people ask you about it, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Where we are, like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's not really a thing. Go out and get what you want. I'm not going to get it for you, and if I could, I'd get
No,
it for the whole program.
no, exactly. And how it was supposed to happen was it was supposed to be big corporations like a Nike was supposed to come up and say, "Hey, I'm going to do this for you." And like a Dell computer, because I'm just looking at a Dell computer right now. So it's like Dell was supposed to come up and these major corporations were supposed to pay these people for, doing stuff. sponsorship or getting their face on something. And
Mm.
now it's just like, yeah, we got all these rich alumni throwing money. And I think I just saw this morning Texas has the largest NIL collective at $22 million, and they're just like paying these football players and basketball players, and it's just like, wow.
Jeez.
It is pretty wild to me.
It's
And
a little insane. And I get some people that were in college athletics maybe 8 or 10 years ago, and they're like, what the heck's going on? And I'm
yeah,
like,
Exactly.
it's mostly football and basketball, but there's some other stuff. And, I'm good with people making money, but, I just also am a big person about loyalty too as a
oh
coach. So
yeah, no, for sure.
Loyalty
I
is
mean,
no longer
anyway, thanks for your
important.
input. I
oh
appreciate
yeah,
it.
no worries. I definitely think it's hurting us for sure. So
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate
yeah,
it. I know today you had to make some changes around.
yeah,
I
no, it's all
appreciate
good. I told
that.
you I'd make it work.
And
So
thank you for getting Leo on board.
yeah,
So,
sorry he had to leave. I know he was like he messaged me real quick. He's like, Coach, I gotta go watch this last game. So I was like, okay, go on.
we don't
So
want to ruin his social life. That's
yeah, no.
so okay. Well, thanks so much and good luck this weekend. And everybody be safe and good luck in your meets.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me on. I do this
Thanks,
again.
Coach.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
I love it.
Okay. Have a good
Thank you,
evening
Jim.
left of it
Thank
there.
you.
Good night,
Thanks,
everyone.
Suge.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Jim.
Bye.
Thanks, Sue. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Say
No
good night.
problem. Hi, little Jim.
There you go. Right there.
Hey, how are you? Thank you for loaning us your dad.
Yes. They said thank you for loaning me. So you're welcome.
Now you can have it back.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.